Today we will take a look at the best mesh routers for this year. If you want to find more information, check out links down below. 5. TP-Link Deco X20. TP-Link's Deco X20 Mesh Networking Kit is a cheap thrill that can help fill a home with Wi-Fi 6 data while protecting a family's identities with an extra layer of online security. The TP-Link Deco X20 does a lot with a little by squeezing Wi-Fi 6 technology into small and easy-to-hide mesh devices. At $249 for 3 devices, the Deco X20 is about one-third the cost of similar gear from Netgear, Asus and Aris, yet does surprisingly well with extended range and a strong Wi-Fi signal throughout a home. The Deco X20 units are available only in white and have cooling slots underneath but no mounting inserts underneath for hanging on a wall. Like other Deco models, TP-Link has included a plethora of services that make the Deco X20 even more enticing for home networking. It starts with the company's HomeCare security suite that includes Trend Micro anti-malware code embedded in the router's firmware to provide an extra layer of online defenses. 4. Netgear Orbi Wi-Fi 6, RBK852. The Netgear Orbi Wi-Fi 6, RBK852 combines everything we love about Netgear's premier mesh Wi-Fi solution with the future-proof capabilities and fast speeds of Wi-Fi 6. Easy setup and a great performance are the hallmarks of the Orbi model line, and the Orbi Wi-Fi 6 model doesn't disappoint. The Orbi RBK852 is large and pricey, so expensive it may be a reach for some digital households. The RBK852 gear is big and continues with the tall, oval cooling tower look that makes them hard to hide. Both the RBR850 router and RBS850 satellite measure 10.0 by 7.5 by 2.8 inches, making them enormous compared to the likes of the TP-Link Deco X20 or Google Nest Wi-Fi. The RBK852 gear is big and continues with the tall, oval cooling tower look that makes them hard to hide. Both the RBR850 router and RBS850 satellite measure 10.0 by 7.5 by 2.8 inches, making them enormous compared to the likes of the TP-Link Deco X20 or Google Nest Wi-Fi. If you're looking for the easiest and fastest mesh networking kit on the market, the Netgear Orbi Wi-Fi 6, RBK852, does the trick with excellent performance, particularly for those in older homes with lots of walls. 3. Netgear Orbi Wi-Fi 6E RBKE963. Netgear's Orbi RBKE963 is easily the fastest mesh router system on the planet. It's also the most expensive mesh kit around and makes sense only for customers who have gigabit broadband connections and enormous homes. The Orbi RBKE963 kit I looked at consisted of the RBRE960 host router and a pair of RBSE960 satellites that use the 2.4, 5 and 6 GHz Wi-Fi bands for sending data back and forth. Netgear's designers, engineers and software writers have brought mesh routing into the high-performance Wi-Fi 6E era with the Orbi RBKE963 kit. Both the router and the satellites have Orbi's distinctive rounded tower shape but are huge at 11.1 by 7.5 by 3.0 inches. The Orbi RBKE963 mesh system performed well in my 100-year-old home, easily filling the 3,500 square foot structure with data. I used Ixier's Ixgriat networking benchmark to simulate 10 data-hungry users and a Samsung Galaxy Book Pro to measure performance, and the Orbi RBKE963 outperformed all other mesh router systems. The system easily passed my network saturation test, during which I watched 4K video on my iPad Pro as a Lenovo ThinkPad T470 laptop played an internet radio station and an HP Dragonfly laptop ran HD videos, all while a MacBook Air was swapping data with a networked RAID storage array. 2. Linksys Atlas Max 6E. The Linksys Atlas Max 6E has the distinction of being the first 3-piece mesh Wi-Fi system we've tested that uses Wi-Fi 6E technology to operate on the 6 GHz radio band. The Atlas nodes look identical to the ones you get with the Linksys Velope X4200. The small white towers stand 9.5 inches tall and are 4.4 inches wide by 4.4 inches deep. There's an LED status indicator on the top of each node that turns blue when connected, red when it loses internet connection, yellow when it's out of range of another node, and purple during setup. Inside each node are 12 antennas, a 2.2 GHz quad-core CPU, 1 GB of RAM, 512 MB of flash memory, and a Bluetooth radio. The Atlas is a Wi-Fi 6E system that can use the newly liberated 6 GHz radio band, which offers amenities like extra Wi-Fi channels, more bandwidth, faster speeds, and lower latency than the 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz bands. The Atlas Max 6E system can be managed using a web-based console, but the Linksys mobile app for Android and iOS offers most of the same settings and is easier to use. 1. Nest Wi-Fi. Google's Nest Wi-Fi mesh networking kit makes a virtue out of being small, while providing enough mesh networking performance for the typical home and an interactive extension speaker. Easy to set up and use, it's the best mesh Wi-Fi system we've seen. The Nest Wi-Fi mesh devices are small and easy to hide. In addition to stashing them on a shelf, they fit on a windowsill or on a coffee table. The router has a 4.3-inch diameter and is 3.6 inches tall. By contrast, the point extensions are a little smaller with a 4.0-inch diameter and 3.4-inch height. The Nest Wi-Fi is able to accommodate up to 32 extensions, and all but the smallest homes will require an extension or two. The good news is that the previous generation of Google Wi-Fi gear can be used as extensions with Nest Wi-Fi to extend the network's reach but without the audio abilities. Built around a custom version of Qualcomm's QCS400 family of chips, the Nest Wi-Fi router and extensions use a 1.4 GHz quad-core processor and a pair of digital signal processors, while the extensions have far-field voice pickup technology. The router had a range of 80 feet and the mesh extension added another 50 feet. This should be fine for most homes, but it came up a little short in filling my house, leaving dead spots on the top floor and at the extremities.